welcome to the third episode of the Luckycast. I'm your host, DeoxysPrime, and joining me on this edition, we got Funk.
Hello.
And we also have Kenny.
Hi.
And, okay, so if you haven't heard the first two episodes, basically this podcast is just about talking anime. And
Which you wouldn't know given the title of the podcast.
I mean, it's not that ambiguous, is it?
Yeah, it's pretty.
No, I don't think it is.
One of many problems I have with
Well, I
the
mean,
title.
when you look at the video on YouTube, it has those nice anime pictures.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say the thumb.
Are they what they call kawaii?
Yeah, and you can't deny.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this episode we're specifically going to be talking about the summer anime season that just concluded.
Of 2014.
Yes, that is the year of our Lord.
Well, what I mean to say is, what if for posterity's sake, as you're wont to do, Steve, you re-listen to this, you'll have no idea when we are.
I mean, I always put the date in the notes.
Alright, cool guy.
You know,
Sorry.
You can never be too safe.
Yeah, you can.
Special disclaimer, this podcast isn't for the easily offended. So shut it the fuck off if you don't want to listen to us saying shit and fuck and all sorts of crap.
That's pretty tame for you, Kenny.
Yeah, I guess so.
Something 50 fucking times.
I could have done a Jeremy Thorne intro if you'd like.
Kenny, do a spoiler warning for our audience.
No, I don't think I can.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks
Well,
anyways.
Are we going to be talking spoilers?
I mean, we always do.
Whoa.
So I guess to get right in it, one of us is gonna need to name their favorite anime of the season. Do I have any volunteers here?
I volunteer Steve.
Oh. I guess that's fair, because I made you do it the first time, and I made Kenny do it the last time.
Wait, is that actually true?
Yeah.
How do you remember?
Bitch.
How do you not remember? Oh, that's right, you don't remember anything we talk about ever.
What?
I thought. Wait. I thought that was me.
What?
That I don't remember anything.
I mean, you do it because you're drunk. Funk does it because he doesn't consider us friends.
Yeah, this is clearly exactly the rationale.
He doesn't even have us as contacts in his phone.
Yeah, that's so weird. Like, not even for your real friends either, apparently.
Yes, it makes every time I text somebody a fun guessing game.
He's like, what's his number again?
I mean, that's happened quite a few times. Just recently, I think I told Steve this story. I don't know if you were there, Kenny. This one girl I had unwanted sex with texted me, and I was like, oh, it's you. It was pretty miserable.
I mean, you could just save the numbers and just put funny names.
But how will I know which funny name correlates to which unfunny person?
I mean, you'd still have the element of the guessing game. But it would amuse you in the process.
That's true. Like, if Dong just texts me, who's that? I don't know.
I have to apologize, audience. I totally derailed this podcast.
As you've been known to do.
Yeah.
All right. We'll edit it out in post.
No, it's staying in there.
Oh no.
Okay. So I was telling you before I had some trouble actually picking a favorite anime this season.
So why don't we try and guess it?
Okay, what do you think it is, Funk?
Real Wars.
No.
All right, I got nothing.
Kenny, what do you think it is?
Terror in Resonance.
That was one of the choices I was debating.
Because it was fucking good.
No, it was really good. Surprisingly, I think what won me out in the end was actually Barakamon.
Oh.
And it's kind of weird because when I watched the first episode, it was really good. And we try to convince Kenny to watch it, but he still refuses to. I
don't refuse to. I'm just too lazy to download the episode.
So you're not doing it, aka you refuse.
I'll do it. I'll probably do it tomorrow because I'll probably have nothing to watch.
You could have done it before the podcast.
Yeah, I could have, but I had other things to watch.
You really?
A likely story.
There was gonna be other days. You could watch all that tomorrow when you're not being quizzed on it.
Yeah, there's a test, Kenny.
Sure.
The test is right now, and Kenny's not prepared.
So Barakamon. Watched the first few episodes. Then I lost. I didn't really lose interest in it, but I kind of fell behind like several episodes.
But why?
I don't know.
Don't you do that with like every fucking thing you watch?
Like half the shows I watch, that usually happens. I don't know why. It just does.
I feel like that's a deep character flaw.
Maybe, but this season especially because like I watched more than I normally do this season, so it ended up happening more often. And this is just one of the shows that kind of got lost in the shuffle. So then like a couple weeks ago, it's getting to the end of the season, so I decided to catch up. And I decided like, okay, I'll just try to marathon the rest of it. And that didn't go so well because like the episodes are like really heavy. I don't know, like Funk, you watched it, and I don't know if you necessarily
No, I agree.
It's like it's one of those shows that I have a hard time describing why it's so good. Like I mean, obviously it has like good characters and like it's told like the story's kind of told in a enjoyable way, but it's just like one of those shows that's really kind of emotional, but not in a forced kind of way. It's not trying to I'm trying to think of a way to describe it, but I can't. But go ahead.
If I could interject,
yeah,
in an attempt to help you, so I've thought about this, knowing I was going to have to talk about it at some point, and the way I would categorize that show is that it was pretty inspiring.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much of this you got, but so the main character is an artist. He's a calligrapher. And anybody who does any kind of creative pursuit, like I do, and it's just like, oh, I better get off my ass and go practice or go do something creative. Like that's every time I finish an episode, that was the impression that I got.
Just like that song.
Just like that, yeah. Not like I was making a legitimate point. But no, it's like every time I watch an episode, it's like it just inspired me to go out, well, not go out, but just turn around and pick up one of my instruments, play music or something, be creative. And, in addition, it was also really funny, really well written. Just good all around.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's not emotionally manipulative. It's, like, genuinely... It's not, like, sad, but it's, like, it gives you, quote-unquote, the feels.
It's heavy.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it necessarily inspires me. I wish it would. But then it's one of those shows that makes me realize I don't have any natural talent myself. And then I feel bad about myself, but I don't hold it against the anime.
That sounds horrible.
Steve...
It kind of does, yeah.
Natural talent only goes so far. You also have to practice and etc.
Yeah, but you also have to have, like, some kind of passion to point you in a direction.
I mean, I guess, but maybe you just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, I'm just kind of naturally directionless.
I mean, how many sculptures have you ever done? Maybe
none.
You have a passion for sculpting.
Probably not.
Undiscovered. You can sculpt kawaii ugu figures.
But I think that's kind of why I like the show, because then I like live vicariously through it. Like I like shows with people that are like kind of passionate like that and have like a special talent. And it's weird because like when I heard the description of the show, like I didn't think it would be interesting because like I don't know anything about calligraphy. I mean I know what it is. It's just like one of those Japanese things that we can't really relate to because no one does that here.
Like flower arranging or squinty eyes.
Or tea ceremonies.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I read the description. I didn't think it would be interesting, and it's just one of those shows that it deals with a very specific subject matter, like a niche subject, and just really goes all in on it and makes it interesting.
But it's not. So you could read the description and kind of liken it to all the shitty sports anime there are that just take this one activity and go hard on it, but not in like a relatable way.
Yeah.
But it's like this one made it pretty relatable to, relatable.
Yeah.
So I agree.
It was also the fact that it's an anime that features very prominently like a kid, like a young kid, and I hate kids. So every time I go into one of these shows, I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this because the kid could just be super annoying, and she wasn't in this case. She was really likable.
Yeah, and she was actually voiced by a kid, which added a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, just really overall great show. Everyone should watch it.
And especially Kenny, who didn't actually watch it.
So I'm just gonna have to watch it just to get you off my fucking back.
Yeah, it's that good. So I'll get on Kenny's back about watching shit, but it's
How
a
lewd.
show that's like okay, but it's pretty forgettable or whatever. It's like this is a really good show. It's it's something you want to watch. You're probably if you watch it, you're probably gonna end up rewatching it later on. It's just that good.
Yeah.
It's great. And Kenny's like, oh, this nigga watched Rail Wars.
Hey, we'll get into that. There's nothing wrong with Rail Wars.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
Hi.
okay, Funk. Since Kenny's gonna have an aneurysm if I make him go next.
I'll go. I don't care.
Oh, do you actually want to?
Yeah, sure, I'll go.
Okay.
Oh.
Well,
Let's see.
by all means, Kenny, tell us your favorite anime of the season.
All right. It's even though it's ongoing, it's Akama Got Kill.
Interesting choice.
Why is it interesting?
Because it's like it feels like it's one of the bigger shows of the season, but not like the biggest. And I guess I wasn't expecting it either. Like I know you like it because you have like fucking Akame as your icon on IGN.
You never know. It could have been SAO.
I mean, it could have been. That was one of the I was debating with too, and we'll talk about that later. But
yeah.
Why don't you tell us why Akame Got Kill is so good?
I don't know. It's like just I've never watched an anime that's like so like unpredictable. Like what's gonna happen. Animation's like pretty good. The characters are all likable. I don't know. Like what else? One second.
Come on, Kenny, you were born for this. This is your moment.
That's the thing. I can't describe stuff very well. That's why I shouldn't be on this podcast.
Well, it's kind of like a shonen action show, but it doesn't feel like one.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't feel like one of the just ones that goes on forever. And you're right. It's very unpredictable. Like
it's really weird too because like it shows like both like it shows like Night Raid versus like the Empire, and like they both have like their own specific like stories and like character development and everything, and it like portrays like the enemy, quote unquote, as like nice people in a way.
Yeah, it's a really interesting perspective.
And they're like cold-blooded like killers. So it's really weird. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, it was kind of like I enjoyed it from the start. But I didn't know where it was really going until they introduced like the newest enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And you're totally right about it being unpredictable because I mean they kill like two major characters really early in the series.
They do.
And it's like, well, didn't expect that.
Wow, it's just like 24.
Okay.
Just like 24.
Yeah, right. But yeah, just like I don't know why I like it so much, even though like. It's pretty graphic and violent, which I'm not really a fan of, but for some reason I just keep going back to watch it.
It's done in like enough of an over-top manner where it doesn't bother me either.
Well, I know a certain spoiler that's gonna be soon, I think, which is bothering me.
Oh.
Plus, Shayla, the girl with the glasses that got killed off in episode 3, that death bothered me a little bit.
Yeah, because that was when I was like, okay, where's this show going?
Yeah, and then plus, oh my god, Hana Kanazawa's character. Or Kana Hanazawa, excuse me.
Which one is she?
She's the bitch with like that fat fucking dog that eats people.
Oh, I fucking hate her.
I hate her so much.
I mean, even putting aside that I didn't realize it was Hana Kanazawa, like I hate her even more now because you told me that. Just those like nice quiet types that end up being psychotic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like those.
I didn't even know it was her until it was brought to my attention. I was just like, someone said, "Yeah, here comes the bitch." I was like, "What do you mean?" It's like you'll see. It's Shibiki's waifu. I was just like, "What?" And then I looked it up on Mal, and I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!"
She's just in fucking everything. It's just annoying at this point.
No, she doesn't bother me that much anymore. But I'm just saying her character in this series is just, God, can't stand her.
Usually, I'm good at picking her out because she always does the same voice. Usually.
Mm-hmm.
The like the Kuroneko voice specifically.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's a pretty fun series, so
I don't know what else to add to it. I mean,
Is it comfy?
No.
No.
Oh, I haven't seen this show.
And another thing, like, there's comedy in it, and then all of a sudden, out of left field, it'll just throw in like something like so like fucking serious, or like someone just dies or some shit.
Yeah. Funk, it has action and a plot, so I don't think you'd like it.
Wow. Disgusting.
And if DL were here, he'd probably say it was shit. As he does everything that we watch.
As he has been known to do.
Well, let's give a shout out to DL, who will not listen to this. I want to say hi.
One of these days, he'll listen to it.
Yeah.
He watched like the first episode of everything this season and then nothing else.
Yeah, he was pretty on board. The plan was for him to be in this podcast to, become a complete, nerd again and just watch fucking anime. And he's like, nah.
Wait, we were gonna do that?
Yes.
Yeah, he was pretty gung ho at the start of the season to actually watch stuff.
Oh, I thought this happened recently, or this was planned out recently that he was gonna be here.
Oh.
Never mind.
Pretty terrible.
Moving on.
Okay, Funk, I want to know what obscure slice of life show
Jesus Christ
is your favorite this season that I didn't watch.
Here we go.
I'm pretty sure you watched this, because if you didn't, it would be the ultimate confirmation that you have no taste. As if I needed another one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So my favorite anime this season was Gekkan Shoujo Nozaki-kun.
I did not watch that.
You have got to be fucking shitting me.
Why?
Get off this fucking podcast.
Because it was amazing. That show was so good.
It was so goddamn funny.
It was.
I don't think I can talk to you anymore. I honestly don't
this
think
is what's gonna cause it, Kenny. This anime. Of all the disagreements we've had, this anime is like the line in the sand.
I'm on Kenny's side.
I swear to God.
Okay, well here's the part where you have to convince me.
Well, so let me tell you why the show is great. So, do you know the premise of the show, Steven?
So something about a girl falling in love with this guy.
I mean, you're not wrong. So this guy is like a manga artist. He writes manga. And he basically, anything that happens in his life, he adapts into, material to write with. He'll take somebody he knows in real life, turn him into a manga character, whatever. What was I gonna say? All right, so I don't actually know, because I'm trying to think of descriptions, and it's like, no, that's pretty vague. No, that's pretty vague. It's pretty vague too. It's just everything about it works. So. Oh yeah, so every character in the show at one point ends up helping this manga artist with his manga. They do like the backgrounds, they do, different aspects of creating manga that I know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of jokes are born from this, and it's written like the writer was really passionate about writing manga and making it. Like they know the ins and outs, they know how to, writing humor from it. And it was just great. It just kept working. And it's like, it's hilarious. And then there's like the just, general slice of life stuff that, I always love that's in there. Set in a school, high school, so it's good. I don't know. I thought I would have more to say about this, but I actually have very little.
I don't know. It's just like facial expressions on the characters too are pretty hilarious, especially Chio, the redhead with the bows.
Yes.
It's priceless.
And like all the main characters all have relatively unique personalities, given how easy it is to just fall into generic archetypes in these kind of shows.
Uh-huh.
And just the interplay between all of them. It's just like a core group of 5 or 6 characters that all have different varying relations with each other in the group.
Yeah.
Because, so you'll have the 2 main characters, the manga artist and the girl who's in love with him.
Mm-hmm.
And that core group of 2 will interact with, one other person or 2 other people. And then those auxiliary people interact with each other in different ways. Leads to a whole lot of comical Three's Company misunderstandings that are great.
You go back to Three's Company a lot.
There is no pure type of misunderstanding, Three's Company misunderstanding. And that is a fact of life, and I'm happy to teach it to you.
I don't think you ever actually watched Three's Company.
I haven't, but if there's one thing you, the viewer, listener of this podcast, could learn, it is that Three's Company misunderstandings are wholesome, hilarious, and you might just learn something.
But you probably won't.
Speak for yourself. But
I honestly think it's kind of hard to, convince someone why to watch a comedy, because it's something that you kind of just need to watch for yourself, and if you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. Yeah,
because, any slice of life comedy that takes place in a high school, it's very hard to talk about it in a way that's unique. Yeah. The writing's great. Everything about it, I love. A lot of the humor is derived from scenarios that you don't quite see all the time in the shows.
That's very true. But Steve, you should totally go for it. If I watch Barakamon, will you watch this?
I can't guarantee that. Also, Funk's the one who wants you to watch Barakamon more than I do.
Both of you.
He's just trying to get out of it. He's like, I am not gonna watch good anime, and you can't.
I watched that fucking after the first podcast, and you recommended Tonari no Seki-kun. I went and watched it, and I didn't like it.
This is absolutely this is different from that.
I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
Was that another Three's Company analogy?
No. My point is that you're a horse. Roll around and shit all day.
That's a hedgehog.
Oh my!
It's a pig. But anyway, the show was great. It had so the conclusion, actually, the last episode, I thought was very, very well done. Kenny, do you the last?
I completely agree with you.
So, spoiler alert for Steve, because he's never actually gonna watch this show, but I feel like it's worth talking about.
Yes.
So at the very end, the girl and the guy, the main couple, they're watching fireworks, and the girl ends up confessing her love for the guy, who completely misunderstands her in a very Three's Company kind of way. And it just comes out of left field, because I was expecting it's going to be so, cliche, it's going to be lame, it's going to be a kiss, whatever. It's like, no, it stuck to their guns through how the series went the entire time, and it was fucking perfect. It's like, I love this. This is great. Oh, and let's talk about how good the fucking theme song was.
The opening?
Yes.
It actually is pretty fucking catchy.
Oh my god. It's fucking amazing.
Were you just fucking, orgasming?
Sound like it.
It's Steve heard it, so you don't know, but it is that good. So whenever I'm watching anime, I'm always just I'll have my bass or something. I'm playing music because I don't need to listen to it. I can just read the subtitles.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
That's how you watch?
Yeah, I mean I can hear it between notes and sometimes, but I'm not really concerned with actually hearing it. But I still listen to the opening and ending themes and shit because I got to see how good they are. But when a theme I really like, I'll actually go learn the theme and then play whatever the bass line is, or make up one of my own to play along with it as it's going. Really lame, but so much fun. And anyway,
I mean, Kenny can relate to you. Ken's Fun Dio.
Oh my god, that was so long ago.
I love Fun Dio.
Do you still have that on MSN?
No.
Oh.
I've had to reinstall it so many times that I keep losing the files. So.
Damn. Whoops.
What did you do?
I accidentally hit my mic.
Oh.
Good job.
My bad.
But anyway, this theme song is just so fun to play. I love everything about it. It's so good. The ending theme's okay.
I mean, that's usually how it is with anime.
Yeah.
Opening great, ending theme okay.
Basically. But there was nothing about the show that I disliked. I had another show that I was trumping throughout the entire season as being the best. Didn't turn out to be the best. Still was very good.
Care to share?
Yeah, I mean, Locodol. Which was great, but it had issues. This show had 0 issues. Oh my god, it's one of my favorites that I've ever seen. It's that good. And I watch a lot of shitty slice of life anime.
You kind of do.
Yeah.
That and nothing else.
Basically. I tried to watch something new this season, and it was like, this is terrible.
What was it?
Terraformers.
Oh God! Don't.
I mean, I know that it's awful.
We're not going to.
You can't like let that have that put you off like other kinds of anime just because you pick something bad.
Maybe. But Nozaki-kun was fucking amazing. It's just like,
well, it's an excellent choice.
Yeah, it's fucking good. Hilarious.
So did you want to talk about Locodol?
Yes, actually. Okay. So
go ahead.
Locodol was also really good. I mean, if you were just going by what show was cuter, Locodol was definitely cuter. It had more cute girls in it, and they did more cute things. But like the animation was a lot worse. There was a lot of reused animation, as is common in shittier shows. The music was okay. It wasn't as good, but there wasn't any kind of like progression to it. And I know it's weird to say for a slice of life show, but it just ultimately went nowhere. And then when it tried to go places, I didn't really care about it. It's like, oh, they're going to bigger idol events, playing bigger. I don't give a fuck. Because the best part of the show was at the beginning, where well, first of all, who among us watched it?
I did.
Did you watch it, Steve?
Nope.
Oh my god.
Of course he didn't.
So towards the beginning of the show, they're actually local idols. They're just going around like their town in like local shops and hyping up local products. And it's very like low budget, and a lot of the comedy is derived from their inexperience, which is funny. But like halfway through the season, they just kind of get rid of that as they know what they're doing now, and they just start doing more and bigger things. And it's like, well, there's no humor here anymore. Now, I don't know if you can get a full 12-episode season out of that first concept, but I don't know. It just had a marked downturn in quality at the halfway point. And it was still good, but it wasn't great.
Did you feel the same, Kenny?
Funk kind of put the hammer down on him.
I mean, it's one thing I know.
It was just like I just like a series like that. I just kind of take it lightly and just have fun with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't angry about it, but
angry about it.
There were no elves to be angry at.
No, but there did come a point in the season where I was like, this is worse than it was before, and I dropped the score on Mal accordingly, so that'll get him.
Yeah, that kind of sucks when that happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Go ahead.
Let me talk about something here. So, I don't know if you noticed this, Kenny, but the ending, not the theme, but like the animation that plays in the ending, it looked like it was done by a completely different studio. Like, all the character models were off-model.
You will notice a lot in anime where they put, like, so much of their fucking budget in the opening and ending themes. It's just ridiculous.
It's not that it looked better or worse, but it was just different. Like, the models were drawn differently. And it was a really clear, and it was different animation style at times. This just didn't make any sense.
I mean, they do that for endings often.
It's pretty common.
They'll play with different styles.
Well, no. It's not that the style was, like, drastically different. If you took, like, a still, it looked the same. But there were just slight details in how it was animated and how it was drawn that were different. It wasn't like, it's a good example. I don't know. It wasn't like a stylistic change. It was just a different studio doing it slightly differently.
No, it's the same studio.
Well, then I have no idea why it's slightly different. It's only slightly different enough that it's not like a heavy stylistic thing. It weirds me out. That's why I bring it up. If it was like we're gonna animate it in a different style because it looks cool, and that's one thing. But that's not what happens. Like, if you were to watch it, you wouldn't even notice it unless you were looking for it.
Clearly you were.
Well, I mean, I watched 13, 12 episodes of it, and it's like, it's really, really got to me.
There's nothing else I could really add. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't.
Unless you have something else to add, Steve.
I mean, I didn't watch it, so there's not much I can add.
Well, I'm just saying, like from what we talked about.
No, I mean, I'm trying to imagine what Funk's talking about, and I get where he's coming from.
I know.
I just can't remember any other instances of something exactly like that.
It does seem like a pretty corner case. Like I know I'm having trouble describing it because it is.
Cause, I mean, I get what you're saying, because sometimes you'll have an anime that's done by one studio, and then the next season will be done by a different studio, and the character models are the same but slightly different, and it's kind of off-putting.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I have a fucking problem with this season of a certain anime.
Is it, what anime is it?
Log Horizon.
Oh.
I don't.
Oh, yeah, the Studio Dean took that over, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
that'll
like
do
DOSBox.
it. That also reminds me, like, the Yuru Yuri OVA is being done by a different studio, too.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I don't know what studio it is, but I just know it's a different one. Like, all the cast and stuff is the same, but different animation.
Well, you have to do that. There's you change it.
Yeah, people would be pretty pissed if they did that.
Yeah.
That's why you got shows like fucking Sailor Moon Crystal using the same voice actors from 20 years ago, even though they're not as good.
There's only one from 20 years ago, right?
I don't know. Well, I know it's Sailor Moon, and she sounds like shit, so...
Well, she's
Damn.
like fucking like a grandma.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's not a good idea. So, you want to talk about that, Kenny?
No.
Like, I mean, I know we covered it in, like, a Sonic Board podcast, but it hasn't really gotten much better.
Well, you got to, you know, that has its own audience, and this has a completely separate audience.
Well, I know. That's why I want to. That's why I want to touch on it.
Oh, I was being sarcastic.
I mean, I've talked to DL about this, and he's like, you shouldn't have expected any better, because one, it's done by Toei, and you know they're known for cutting corners, and two, he's like, you know, this is just like a cash grab on the Sailor Moon name.
Yeah, I believe that.
And I get that, but at the same time, it's like Sailor Moon is like the magical girl anime that kind of spawned everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think it deserves a lot better than this. Like, this is just a really... It's not a terrible show. I mean, it's watchable. But it's just... The original anime is better, and this one is just like, even putting that aside, this is just so poorly animated, it's hard to overlook it.
Are you sure it's not a terrible show?
I mean, it's watchable. Like, I'm gonna watch the whole thing. But I'm only really watching it because it's Sailor Moon. If it was like any other show, I probably would have dropped it. It's just because I like Sailor Moon.
Oh.
I guess they basically used up all their budget on the opening.
Well, I mean, they probably shouldn't have gone with the CGI shit.
The CGI transformations are terrible.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna do CGI, go all the way, because if you it can be used like sparsely in certain animes where it's necessary, and you can kind of like put it aside because you understand that some scenes are too complex to just, and they don't have the budget to just animate it traditionally. But I mean, if you're switching back and forth like the show's doing with these transformation scenes, it's just so jarring. It just looks like shit. I mean, it's even by CGI, it's really poor. Like, what?
But like some of the reasons I like keep watching it are from the voice actresses that are in it, because you know Venus is Shizuka Ito, and Rei is voiced by your favorite railgun. And
who's my favorite railgun?
Mikasa Mikoto.
Oh, okay.
She voices Rei.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
And Sailor Jupiter's Shirley as well.
Oh, I guess that's another reason why you like Jupiter.
Yeah.
Isn't Jupiter the one with the ring around it?
I mean,
no, that's Saturn.
Oh my God.
There are more than one planet that has rings around it, Funk.
Dun dun dun.
I actually believe Jupiter does have rings around it, but they're just like really faint, really small.
Isn't that convenient?
It is.
But yeah, I mean, It's okay, but
I just think it deserves a lot better than this.
they could have done much more.
Yeah,
Plus, like,
not only that, but it's like not even airing on TV, and it's like airing every other week.
I know it's like you get 2 episodes a month.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like 50 by the time it airs.
Is the season even done yet?
No.
No, this is gonna last this 26 episodes says every other week
Oh.
it's gonna last a year.
So we should talk about it in whenever half a year's time when it's done.
I
How long
mean,
it takes.
it's following the story of the manga. It's not gonna be like radically different. So.
Radical.
And that's another thing. Like I know a lot of people like that it's following the manga. It just feels like having watched the original anime. There's a lot of filler in that show, but it's like it's good character filler. Whereas this just feels like they're rushing along so fast that if you didn't know what Sailor Moon was and you just watched the show, you would have like no feel for the actual characters.
Yeah, exactly.
They just go by so fast, and there's no exploration of who the characters are. It's just hit all the major events, and that's it. So that's pretty much that.
Yeah, I guess we're done with Sailor Moon then.
I do want to talk about Sword Art, Kenny, because you finished the latest episode, right?
I did.
Yeah, so that's the end of this arc, and there's gonna be like 2 smaller arcs for the rest of the this season. But this arc I really liked it. It may have been my favorite arc of anything they've done so far. Like in the first season, the Sword Art Online arc was pretty good, but at the same time, it felt like they had to cover like 2 years and 12 episodes. they kind of it skips over a lot. And then like the second arc, it's well established that it's not nearly as good. But this season has been really good so far. How do you feel about it?
I do feel pretty good. I thought it was slow at first, actually, as it probably should be.
Kind of, yeah. Like they had to build up this new game world. But I mean, like the setting and like completely different kind of game they're playing now. It was like really interesting to me. And then you have the new character Sinon, who's like a really really good character, which helps because like the last arc just had Kirito's sister and she wasn't very interesting at all.
No, Shinon's my favorite so far in the second season.
Girls with guns, Kenny?
Yeah, it's got to be girls with guns. But no, the last episode that I watched this afternoon, pretty fucking like kind of emotional.
Yeah,
and
I was
they
gonna
just
say
kind of they ended it like pretty damn well.
like this, like that episode almost pushed it to my favorite of the season because it was just it hit me a lot harder than I thought it would. Because it's it's just been really action oriented for most of it.
And I was wondering where they were going to go with it. Like all of a sudden inviting her to that bar or whatever that they go to.
Yeah.
And then like that lady that she protected, like when she killed that guy.
Yeah. Like they really tied her story up nicely.
I know they did. It was like awesome.
Like I kind of forgot about that aspect because I mean it's important to your character, but you were just it just kind of moved on from that point.
You were just kind of like along for the ride, and
yeah.
it's just like oh yeah, it's just some person. But then it just like comes full circle. It's just like holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then that fucking her friend who turned out to be the bad guy.
Oh my god, that fucking psycho. I wonder how many times he said Asada-san in those 2 episodes.
He just went full fucking psycho. You know what? It's funny because when they introduced him early in the series, I'm like, yep, he's Death Gun. But then it's like this guy's totally Death Gun. But then they get into the game, and he's in the game along with Death Gun. He's like, well, he can't be the villain then.
I suspected him, but I didn't think he was Death Gun. I thought he was just like some sort of an accomplice.
Yeah, I didn't even think. I thought he was actually Death Gun until like they showed him in the game with Death Gun. But then it was like there's always this nagging thing. Like there's something off about him. Like he was like he was like a complete idiot and a beta and like totally shot him down. It's like, yeah, you deserve that. But they really tied it up nicely because he basically was Death Gun in a sense. So
yeah, that's pretty good.
Poor DL. He got kind of mad that he got spoiled on on how the Death Gun thing got.
You're fucking dumbass for looking shit up.
He wasn't though. He got it accidentally spoiled. It was on A, I think.
That's what happened. That's why I don't go to A when new stuff airs.
Yeah, anything that has that's like an ongoing series. It's based on like a light novel or something, like where everyone already knows what happens.
Oh my god.
It's like, yeah, I avoid those discussion threads because I don't want to fucking find out what happens in the anime.
You're retarded. But yeah, as far as SAO goes, I really hope they like incorporate like the other characters like into the series now because they kind of left them out a lot.
Yeah,
like,
kind of. It's one of those things like when you start introducing a whole bunch of characters, like you want to have something for them to do, but they can't all be important to the story.
Mm-hmm. SAO did that. Like the first season did that actually pretty well.
Yeah.
But this season, I think we're halfway through now.
Yep.
So let's start, incorporating like older characters with the newest. We're throwing a sheen on with like everyone else.
Yeah, like I know the rest of the season just made 2 smaller arcs, so I mean that's perfect for like building up characters and stuff. It's not gonna be like with this first arc in the season. So
yeah, I kind of got that in the end of the series. I think it's kind of have like a little bit of a lull, kind of like a fun time, whatever you want to call it. But I will say this: did you think it was kind of like bullshit the way he survived Kirito in the apartment when that guy tried to like stab
yeah, kind of
syringe? It's like too
convenient.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, like plot armor and all that stuff. Sometimes you get used to it.
Oh, yeah, I should be. I really didn't think of it, but like then I just started thinking about it, and I was like, nah.
Yeah, that was the only real flaw of the ending to this arc. I'm just glad he got to use a fucking lightsaber.
His lightsaber fights were pretty cool.
Yeah, they were really well animated, so
it's pretty awesome. Anyway,
Funk.
Yes.
So what else did you watch this season?
Well, let me turn that back on you. I kind of zoned out. What were we just talking about?
We were talking about something you didn't watch, Sword Art Online. So
you're right. I did not watch that.
So I wanted to bring you back in. Just like, what other series did you watch that you want to talk about?
Well, I've watched several. So where to begin? Why don't we talk about Sabagebu, which was awful.
Here we go.
God.
So, the overwhelming sense I got while watching Sabagebu is that the people who made it hated anime. So, it starts out simple enough. Your generic high school setting, girl joins a club, whatever. And then quickly you find out that's not what it seems. The whole show is just filled with QT anime girls shooting each other. And it's like, okay, whatever, that could be funny. But it's not very funny. It's not well written at all. And then it's like, the animation shit, it looks nothing like any other anime, but not in a good way. It's like the worst studio in North Korea animated it.
I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, it has its own distinctive style.
But it's pretty bad. And then you got shit like, there's the one episode that was literally just an advertisement for the Hunters Association of Japan. Like, I have no idea what's up with that. It's just weird. I did not like the show at all.
See, I didn't finish it, and I feel bad about it, and now Kenny's gonna get on my case about it.
I mean, you should finish it if you like it.
The thing is, I did like it, and it was funny, and it's just like when it's like a kind of a slice of life, not plot driven show. Those are the ones I tend to fall off easier. Because if there's a plot, I mean, that's usually what drives me to watch the next episode. But even if it's a show like I enjoy, I didn't think it was great, but it was just like I fell behind. It happens, but I mean, I don't see what's so bad about it, Funk. It's just.
I would forgive all these misgivings if the show was funny, but it's just not very well written. Like, the characters annoyed me, especially the fucking platypus that seems to exist solely as a parody of, cute animal mascots.
Yeah. Which
is another reason I think these people just hate anime. It's so stupid, the show.
Kenny, why don't you tell Funk why he's wrong?
I'm not going to tell him why he's wrong, but, the show is, it's stupid, but it's funny.
And it's tailor-made for you.
It is tailor-made for Kenny. Cannot deny that.
Yeah, girls with guns.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's basically the same episode over and over again. The main character basically, in their imagination just kills, everybody, just kills the opposition or whatever they're going against. But it's it's still kind of funny. It's demented, but
yeah, I guess that's a valid point. With any comedy that's based on a specific gag, there's the tendency to just repeat that gag over and over.
Yeah, but they could have done something funny with it. The gag was, look, they're shooting each other, as opposed to that being the setting and there being jokes made in that.
I liked it because they weren't actually shooting each other. It was their imagination. Which is different. I don't really recall anything like that.
Yeah, but that doesn't really affect how the show's written, because while they're in their imagination, everything is, told as if that was really happening. So the show is written the exact same way.
But it's not. That's the difference.
Does that really make a difference, though?
Kind of, yeah.
I don't know.
What were you going to say, Kenny?
I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry. I hope you get it back.
I hope it pulls into the station.
Probably not.
No, I thought it was a fine show.
I don't know. It was
fun.
It offended me on a deep level, just by how bad it was. So I was on board with it. The first 2-3 episodes, I was enjoying, and it's this is all this is gonna be. It's not going anywhere with this.
I'm surprised you finished it then.
Yeah, as am I. I mean, I finished Flag Anime. I have the strength to do anything now.
Yeah, but see that came around to a different direction.
No. Flag Anime doesn't hold a stick to this show. God. Flag Anime was just
but I can see why Funk finished it, because it comes around in a different direction.
Yeah, but only at the second to last episode.
Plus, him and I were the only ones to finish it.
That's a bond Kenny and I share.
I didn't want to subject.
It is a bond we share, because it was fucking awful.
Season 2, when?
No, it's not going to get a Season 2. And if it does, I'm going to fucking kill myself.
I can't blame you.
I know.
If it makes you feel better, I think it was one of the worst selling animes that season, so...
It doesn't surprise me.
I don't think it's getting a sequel.
I hope to God not... Well, I wouldn't watch it anyway, so whatever.
I would. At this point, I'm priced in. I can't not watch it.
You know what you should have watched, Funk?
What should I have watched?
You should have watched Rail Wars.
Oh, really?
Oh, segue.
I mean, I was trying to take the high road there, Kenny. So, see, like you said, I've not watched Rail Wars. It's my understanding that Rail Wars is comprised of 2 things, well, I guess 3 things, and that it has rails and it has tits.
That's 2 things.
Yeah.
I thought you said 3.
there are generally two tits. One accompanies the other.
I mean, there were many sets in this show.
Uh,
From all directions.
oh. So why don't you tell me what you liked about it, Steve?
It was stupid fun. It was the stupidest fun, even.
What is the premise of the show?
That is the premise. That's the only thing you could say about it.
So the premise is there's this guy who wants to be a train conductor, and they live in this alternate version of Japan that's like even more obsessed with trains or something. So he goes to train school, literally, and he ends up getting assigned to like a security guard, and then it just follows like him and his team of other train school graduates doing the security force thing. Wasn't
this the plot to Atlas Shrugged?
Probably.
Well, that was also terrible.
But I mean, like, the boobs were one thing, and they were very nice, and they were all over the place. But the moment I knew when it was like really stupid fun is like the second episode, where they're like there's like a bomb threat at the train station, and they like do the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Oh my god!
Bomb threat, where they don't evacuate the train station, and then they try to disarm the bomb themselves, and they manage to do it. It was like so stupid, but I'm like, I enjoyed this, and that's why I stuck with it.
And you finished it.
I did, and I was really sad when it ended. It was also one of those things that you can tell it was written by a guy who was really obsessed with trains, because they go into detail about every single fucking train. And there's like 3 episodes about him like learning how to drive a train, and like they have to like deliver this organ transplant in the rain on this old like mini train. And they go through like all the details of how they got to get through each and every curve and tunnel and overpass and whatever. And it's just so stupid, but I enjoyed every minute of it.
Steve, are you implying the work of conductors across the nation is stupid?
I mean, I don't think they have this much work.
I mean, they usually sit there holding that one lever and not let it go.
I mean, they pretty much drive themselves, so...
Yes.
But as well, they describe the train that they're, like, riding on every single episode.
Yeah, and, like, he freaks out over every old train.
It's
the greatest thing ever.
Is it like Arpeggio, where all the trains have little girl personas?
No, the trains are not sentient.
Because then I would watch it.
Don't you fucking dare. Fucking...
the trains were not sentient, Funk.
Damn.
And then there was that one episode where, like, he gets, like, what he thinks is a death threat in the mail, and him and the one girl, like, go all through town trying to find out who sent this letter, and they get in all these wacky hijinks, and as the episode progresses, the girl slowly loses more and more of her clothes until she ends up naked in a closet.
God.
I think you'd enjoy it, Funk.
I mean, that does sound like everything I'd enjoy. You know me.
You know, just putting it out there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. I remember when it first aired, I looked up the description because I saw it pop up on the website. I looked at the description, like, yeah, I'm not watching this. And I never looked back.
I thought it was gonna be more serious than it was. I thought it was gonna be like actual wars taking place on trains.
I mean, that does sound really silly. Maybe I would watch that. It's like they're driving trains into each other and people are just shouting.
Multi-track drifting.
Oh.
No, I liked what we got, so. And I know Kenny enjoyed it, too.
It was fun.
Fun things are fun, Funk. You gotta learn that.
Fun things are fun?
Fun things are funk.
Fun things are fun.
It's like the kind of thing that you watch, like, after work. Just to...
It puts you in a good mood.
It does.
Is it a healing anime?
Yes.
In a sense. If you're healed by the power of boobs, yeah.
What about the power of train? Does Thomas the Tank Engine make a cameo?
No, he does not.
It was just perfect for Steve, the healing power of boobs.
Right?
Yeah.
Steve does like his breasts.
You can't argue with him.
His memories. The mams, if you will.
It was a show about trains, Funk, and that's all you gotta know.
I love trains.
Yeah, so do I after that show.
Was there any like allegory with the train going into the tunnel and it's like, look, it's a penis?
I don't think there was.
That's a golden opportunity they missed.
Maybe if there's another season.
Please no. Can't handle that.
Kenny, was there a show we haven't covered that yet that you'd really like to talk about?
Oh, Aldnoah.Zero.
Oh, perfect. That, can we just skip straight to the ending?
Well,
that's the only thing of, like,
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I've been waiting for this.
What is the name of this show?
Aldnoah.Zero.
Oh, I've never seen this.
Okay, so here's the thing. I enjoyed it from the start, surprisingly, because it's a mech anime, and I don't really like them that much.
Yeah, they're usually terrible.
Yeah, but for some reason, this one was kind of enjoyable. So basically, it's about like in the 1970s, humans go to Mars because they found like a teleporter on the moon or something, and then the people who go to Mars form their own race on Mars because they have the ancient technology, and they become separate from Earth, and then they end up going to war with Earth, and they blow up half the moon. And then 15 years later, that's when the series starts. So it's basically about a war between Earth and Mars, and the Martians are humans, which is kind of weird.
I guess it's better than them being cockroaches.
Oh my god! Don't bring up that fucking shitty anime, please.
Keep bringing it up, please.
No, don't.
Okay, so the thing about Aldnoah.Zero is the main character. I don't know if I've ever seen a main character quite like this one, in the sense that he has absolutely no emotions. Like, he's not like a robot or anything. He just...
No, he does.
Is he just autistic?
Yes, he actually is, because he's like super good at piloting robots, better than anyone in the military.
Mm.
But he has no emotions, and like in the second episode, his best friend dies before his very eyes, and like he has no reaction to it.
Wait, wasn't this the plot to Full Metal Panic?
Kenny, was it?
What?
I'm sorry, continue.
I don't know what version of Full Metal Panic you watched.
I was just trying to get your goat.
You got it already.
You're not gonna trick me with that. Just move on.
So, anyways, one of the interesting things about the series is that there's a character who's from Earth, but he's like loyal to the Martian kingdom or whatever, and like the series kind of hinges on like what side he's going to choose in this war. And then you get to the very end, and basically it revolves around them trying to kill... Like, the Martians are trying to kill the Martian princess to justify this war. And, like, he's extremely loyal to the princess. So you get to the last episode, and he saves one of the Martian commander's lives. And then the commander turns around and kills the princess. And I was like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? And then he kills the main character, and then the series ends.
It's fucking bullshit.
The Martians won?
But then, wait, Steve. But then it says no one knows what happened to her after then.
No, she's clearly alive, but I don't know about what's his face, the main character. I don't know. I think he's dead.
What the hell is his name? God damn it.
Yeah, I can't even remember. Like, it's weird because I didn't like him at all.
I liked him. Why didn't you like him?
I didn't like him until the end because his character was nothing. But then he like becomes this like really kind of heroic person, and then he just gets killed. And it's like you've just redeemed this character. At the same time, you've also pissed me off. It's really weird. I don't know of an anime that's ever had an ending like that. But to answer your point, Funk, the Martians didn't win. The Earthlings actually won that battle, but. There's gonna be another series, like a second season in January. So it's
in Aho, Steve.
Yes, I don't know where the fuck they're gonna go from that ending.
I thought it was actually kind of cool the way he like just took out like it was like a Earth didn't stand a chance, but he like made it happen. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
Welcome to Earth.
God, don't ruin it. But
No, I mean they kind of like came up with good justifications about how they could like stand a chance in this war where they're horribly outgunned. But I just don't know of anything that's ever ended like that.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
It took some balls, and I'm really interested to see where they go in the second season.
Yeah, no kidding. And what's the date for it? Is it?
It's in January.
Yeah, January.
So like, I was kind of mad, but I was kind of wasn't. It was just more. Maybe it was more shock than anything.
It was.
So I mean, I'd actually recommend the show. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would.
Yeah. For a mech show.
Yeah.
Damn good. Seriously.
Hey Funk.
Hey, yeah.
Why don't you tell us about Glasslip?
Okay, well, Glasslip was so I think it's 13 episodes. Among the first calls that I watched, it was the most boring shit, and I had no idea why all this effort, because the show was very well animated, the music was great, it had all the markings of a show that had everyone trying and operating on full throttle. No idea why a show like that was so fucking boring. It wasn't bad, it was just boring. Because nothing was happening. And I was like, well, and I have no idea why. I kept watching it, I guess, out of hope. Then I get to the last episode. I'm watching it. And one of the characters makes a remark about how, like, the central group of characters, like, they're all friends, how they all just, they never hang out anymore. And it occurred to me, these characters, like, with every episode, their relationships have been changing, and, you know, they've all been growing distant and whatever, interpersonal relationships. But it's like, oh, that's what's been happening. Just a shit ton of character development. And I just completely missed it. And it's like, oh, this is actually really good. Because, I don't know, I just was not paying attention to what I should have been. And then I instantly, my appreciation for the show just, like, went up. Like, 100%.
Oh, see, that's the thing, because I mean, I dropped it after 5 or 6 episodes, I think. I don't know. I was bored for the most part. I did notice definitely that, like, even really early on, they were pushing actual character development, but I just sort of realized that I didn't give a shit about any of these characters, and I found, like, their annoying teenage love drama super annoying. Like, there's, like, shows they can make it work, but that just wasn't a show that made it work for me.
Fair enough.
It was just like it, like I guess it seemed like it did go somewhere, but I just felt like the whole time it wasn't really going anywhere fast enough for me. I just didn't really care for it. How about you, Kenny?
I'm gonna have to agree.
But you did finish it though, right?
I did finish it. It's exactly as you said. It, like, didn't even go anywhere. It was long and drawn out. It was slow, boring.
So I guess the ending didn't have the same effect on you as it did on Fun.
No, it didn't. Like, I was just like, I don't care.
So here's what I don't know, because the reason it kind of hooked me in the first episode is they introduced that kind of gimmick with that one character who I guess could sort of see into the future or something like that. So did that really go anywhere?
Well,
because
so
I found that interesting.
My understanding is that was all basically a red herring. No, it did not go anywhere, but I don't think that was ever the intent. It wasn't actually a plot device. It was just kind of, it could have been anything just to create a bond between the two characters.
How could it not be a plot device?
Well, it's set up to be, but it doesn't become one. It's just you see something so unique like that, oh, they can see into the future. And it's like, well, that's gotta matter. But it doesn't actually matter. The only thing it serves in the story is to get these two characters, to make a bond between them.
See, I find that really disappointing because that was the actual part of the show that hooked me and that I wanted to see more of. And then when I realized it didn't seem to be a part of the show, it was like it just sort of contributed to me just dropping it.
Yeah, I could see that.
'Cause I like sort of like slice of life shows. I mean, they're not really slice of life show when they start involving stuff like that. But I mean that has like kind of a supernatural or technological or time travel element to it, something like that. That just gives it a unique twist. So I felt that's where it was going, but I guess it's disappointing to find out it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but I still think the show's worth watching. I need to watch it again, actually.
Did you want to go back and see what you missed?
Basically, yeah, because when I was watching the show initially, it's like, all right, I'm paying half attention. I'm just gonna wait for something to happen, and then I'll know to start paying attention. Till then, I'll just play bass or whatever. But now I realize that doing that, I missed basically the entire show.
Yeah, go figure.
Well, I mean, more so than other anime, you really just need to pick up on the smaller things to really have any kind of meaningful experience.
Yeah.
So I need to watch it again.
Anything else you wanted to add, Kenny?
No, I'm good.
Kenny didn't like it.
No, it was okay, but I just expected more from it.
I mean, tell me when you didn't watch, like, when you first watched it, you saw the opening, it's like, oh man, this is going to be huge. You know? It's like, it looks like it has so much effort put into it.
Why would the opening make me think that it was huge?
I mean, it was so well animated, I don't know, everything about it was like, it just looked atypical in a good way.
That's what that studio does.
I've seen anime from this particular studio that are a lot better than this one.
They're a pretty good studio, and they often do kind of shows like this. They're just like, interpersonal teenage drama, but they've done it better before.
Yeah, I literally kind of had some hype to it, but it pretty much let me down.
Sorry.
Oh, don't so down, Funk.
Can't win them all.
I'm so sorry.
I definitely did want to talk about Zankyou no Terror with you, Kenny, which Funk should have watched, but I mean, again, it has
Funk
plot,
didn't watch it?
No, it has plot, so of course he's not gonna watch it.
What show is this?
Zankyou no Terror.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, it's basically a show about these two super geniuses who commit terrorist acts in Tokyo for reasons that later become apparent. And it was actually really good. One of the things that kind of drew me in to start with was, did you ever watch Death Note, Funk?
Yes.
Okay, so it had the good element of Death Note of the police trying to figure out how these guys are committing these acts of terror. So there's this kind of back and forth between the police and the terrorists, and eventually you find out that these basically they're high school kids, but they were part of this government program to cultivate super geniuses.
Steve.
Yes, Kenny.
You want to tell them that the terrorists just give them clues on how to find out what they're going to do?
Oh yeah, I guess that's part of it. Yeah, they basically released videos that said we're going to do this and this and this. And here are some Greek myths that you need to solve to figure out what we're doing. But they actually wanted them to figure it out because the interesting part was they were terrorists, but they always made sure not to kill anyone with their acts of terror. Because they were basically just trying to make a point. They were trying to expose this program they had been involved in as kids, where the Japanese government was trying to create super geniuses or something. Now, the only part, and I don't know if you agree with me on this, Kenny, the only part that the series that didn't work for me, that kind of took it down a notch, was when they introduced that character of 5.
Oh my god.
So, they bring in, another one of these kids that they had gone to school with in this program. She was also, a super genius, and she was brought in to catch them. And it was kind of interesting in the fact that she would go to lengths that the police couldn't, as in she would set up her own bombs and they would come and disarm them.
It was fucking bullshit though, because it's the CIA from America and they're taking over the Japanese government.
Yeah.
trying to catch these two, but
Yeah, I mean, I see. I found that interesting, but the part where it kind of lost me is that it didn't feel like she had much of a motivation, because you get to the next to last.
no, she had motivation to catch the two.
No, but her
Because she knew
motivation
them.
was she was in love with one of them.
Was it
Because
12?
remember, you get to the next to the last episode where she finally catches him on the highway,
Oh yeah.
and she doesn't turn him in. She doesn't kill him. She kills herself. Because she basically just wanted to find him again and, I guess, tell him how she felt. And I guess, like, they kind of sort of alluded to it that she was dying anyways. But it was still kind of fucked up when she killed herself.
Yeah.
But it just felt like she didn't have a strong enough motivation. And it just kind of turns it around at the last second. It's like, oh, I guess she loved him all along.
It was kind of a pointless character. Like, unless they developed it. Or developed her, more
like I
so.
said, that was my only problem with it. Like, it was really good. Otherwise, I didn't feel like she was developed enough. But it's also one of those shows that as soon as you watch it, you know there's not going to be a happy ending. And there definitely wasn't a happy ending.
No, there wasn't.
So, and I also feel like maybe the show was probably wanted to be about more than it really was. But it was still like an interesting story, so I guess that was the primary reason why I really liked it. So
yeah, it was different. I mean, it was awesome. It was fun to watch.
It's not like any other anime I've seen recently, so
nope.
It's definitely a point in its favor.
Yeah, so watch it.
He's not gonna watch it.
I'm not telling the funk. I'm telling the fucking.
All 5 listeners should go watch.
Yeah, all 5 listeners.
Well, you did just spoil it for all of them too.
I mean, I did warn them about spoilers to begin with.
Well, I mean, I don't think this is the format to make recommendations.
Well,
you should,
at least I'm plot heavy.
Steve, you should list the anime in the details.
I do though. Like I pointed out, and I give even the time code to where we discuss it. So if someone
you should put the time code to avoid spoilers. Everyone, go to this time code. Right there in the bottom of the video.
I do mention that there's spoilers, so.
Well, now you're priced in actually putting a time code there.
Even if you know what's gonna happen, it's still worth watching.
Now go to this time code.
What time code?
I don't. You edit these. It's your problem.
But you can't just say go to this time code in the podcast. It makes no sense to anyone.
Well, by saying that, you are priced into putting one there in the YouTube video.
Well, it's gonna be earlier than when you said it.
No, it's go to this time code.
Okay.
You'll have to put something there. It's not my problem.
I probably won't.
Oh my god. Now you're gonna make me look like a fool.
I mean, you're doing a good job of it yourself, so.
Huh.
Was there any other series you guys watched this season that you really wanted to talk about?
Yes.
Floor's yours, Funk.
I love the floor. So I don't really know how to pronounce this show's title. Kenny watched it. It's like Invaders.
Oh god. Rokujouma no Shinryakusha, I think is what it's called.
Exactly that.
You nailed it.
10 out of 10.
I don't know. Another comedy. Funny.
Yes. It was good.
What was it about?
So it's pretty fucking harem. So this guy moves into an apartment. It's like very small. It's a shitty apartment. And all these supernatural people, at the same time that he moves into his apartment, convene in his apartment to take it over, all for their own purposes. And then they have infighting over who gets to have the apartment. Hilarity presumably ensues. This is another just comedy harem shit. And it was a very okay anime. It had a lot of problems, but it was okay at times. Kenny, what did you think of it?
It had a lot of problems.
A lot of characters I just flat out disliked for various reasons. As is typical of most harem shows, it's very just all the characters are straight archetypical. There's no variation from the standard formula. I dislike the formula where it was like 2 episodes devoted to each character, like one after another, and then the series has ended. There's also a plot line going through about how the main character was apparently had some kind of power or history or something that they never really expanded upon.
Well, that's what you get with a 12-episode series.
Yeah, well,
but
okay.
like Steve, like each character had their like own arc, and each arc was like pretty. I mean, I honestly thought it was really well done for something like with the 12-episode series.
I mean, I guess they couldn't have done it, expanded more, just given how many episodes.
They could have. That's why I don't like 12-episode series. Just they leave out so much. So
yeah, but it's just, I feel like it doesn't make it any better. At that point, just don't make the series. It's not gonna. I'm not gonna cut it slack for that, given that they still chose to go through with making this, and that's how they presented it.
I know, but the whole series was like basically enjoyable. It's just like what we talked about before with what series was that? Nozaki-kun.
Don't compare this to that.
I'm not. I'm just saying, like in perspective, like with a comedy.
This was nowhere near as funny. At all. I'm offended.
Okay. You're offended. Okay.
Oh, damn. So, Kenny, having watched this series, who is best girl?
Kihara.
Alright, time to look up which one that was.
It's the
the Earth person?
Yes.
Well, that's an okay answer, but you're still incorrect.
One of these days, you two are gonna agree on best girl.
No.
Best girl was Eureka.
Anyone I associate with, like, will never agree on like any best girl. Not even you, Steve.
We've agreed before.
We have?
Yeah.
On who?
Off the top of my head, Shirley is the best girl in Strike Witches. We both agree on that.
We have never said that.
But that's my favorite character too.
Hold on, we can settle. Go to this time code for when Steve and Kenny agreed.
I've never.
I know there's other examples. That's just the first one off the top of my head.
She is sitting on my desk right now. There's no way. Like, I never remember agreeing to that.
Is she stained with your semen?
I'm not DL.
Is she stained with DL semen?
It's a valid inquiry.
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying she's my waifu or anything, Kenny. I'm just saying I agree with you. She's the best character in the show. And I don't know why you're so surprised at this.
I am surprised because I don't remember hearing you say that.
Maybe I haven't, but it's just true. So there you go. There's one example. I'm sure I will think of others at various points in time.
I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Nope.
Just gonna stay up all night staring at your statue, thinking about how Steve defiled it.
Yep.
I didn't know such thing. Wait, why are you upset about this?
I'm not upset.
It's a lot to take in.
I'm just surprised.
Oh, okay.
Anything else?
About the show?
No, about
about your statue?
Kenny's flabbergasted.
He's been rendered speechless. Let me tell one thing about the show.
Rendered in 1080p.
You know what really bothered me about this show? So one of the characters is a ghost. And being that she's a ghost, nobody can see her. Except for the core group of main characters.
Yet she sleeps inside of him.
What does that
even mean?
Well, hold on. Yet she wears a school uniform when she accompanies the main character to school, despite the fact that she is not enrolled in the school and nobody can see her anyway.
Maybe she just wants to wear one.
She's also a ghost. It's literally why.
You should have watched Ghost Girl anime like we did, and you would have understood these questions.
Why do you care?
It just bothers me on a fundamental level.
my God.
Every time I watch the show, it's like, why is this happening? This is
You're
so
watching
stupid.
a fucking anime. God damn it.
It doesn't mean it doesn't have to have a cohesive sense to it. Like this one, if there were any ghost girls in Nozaki-kun, they would have been appropriately attired. Not like this. Or how about the landlord just has special kung fu powers for literally no reason? That was dumb. It's dumb shit like this that really held this show back. And this was done by the same studio, I believe, that did fucking Noreen, which was also terrible.
I thought you loved that one.
That was a perfect example of a show that's serviceable but not actually good.
Was that the farm anime?
That
Yes,
was the
it
farm
was.
anime.
Okay.
And it's like this. It's like I'm never trusting these people again. Like they make something that I'll watch. I'll watch it every week, and then I'll be like, this sucks. But I'll still.
It's like junk food.
Yes, exactly. Except ironically, the farm anime was them growing healthy food. But aside from that, I agree. That's just dumb.
Kenny,
What?
let's talk about Tokyo ESP. Why the sigh, Kenny?
I didn't like it.
Okay, so what didn't you like about it?
I didn't like the animation, didn't like the story, didn't really care about the characters. Like, everything about the show I just didn't care for.
I mean, I guess it covers everything.
It's like, it's a spin-off of Gare. Apparently, because it shows, like, the two main characters from from the season of that series. I don't know what to say.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna say it's great, but I did enjoy it. It was another one of those. It was like a dumb action show. The only thing I really didn't like about it is they did this weird thing where they literally the first episode is the end of the story, and then right after that they flash back to the beginning of the story and start telling it.
They do, like I told you this before. They do that the same way in in the actual series.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
Because I didn't watch that, so I didn't know. But it's kind of off-putting. But I still once I got over that, I kind of enjoyed it. It was very X-Men-ish in a way, with just people with supernatural powers. But I don't know, it was dumb fun. I didn't think it was as offensive as you seem to find it, Kenny.
I respect your opinion about it, but I did not like it.
Yeah, although it does end in a place where they don't really resolve the story. It's just setting up for a sequel that I don't know if it'll ever get. I mean, that's all I really wanted to say about it.
I know, and I can't even add anything onto it. I mean, it is what it is. So.
Yeah. Also, I want to say I did end up really liking Tokyo Ghoul, and I still don't understand why you dropped it.
Too ghoulish.
I mean, other than the fact that it was heavily censored, you couldn't tell what was going on half the time. It was definitely negative.
That's a pretty valid reason for dropping something.
But I don't think that's why Kenny dropped it.
I would believe it if it was. Watching that fucking Terraformers, half the screen is black 75% of the time.
Yeah, Tokyo Ghoul is kind of like that. It was a very violent and gory series. And I didn't like the main character at first. He was a really terrible main character, actually. But I mean, it's just one of those things. I came around to it in the end, and it was a pretty good show overall.
When did he turn around?
Maybe halfway through the series. Once he's since you don't know, he's basically a human who becomes a ghoul, because he gets operated on and they stick ghoul organs in him.
What are ghoul organs?
So basically in the series, ghouls have, I guess they have these organs where they can manifest stuff in their backs that comes out and kills things, so that they can eat people. It's very weird. They didn't, by the end of the story, they didn't explain everything, and it also ends on a cliffhanger for, I guess, another season. But I mean, yeah, it was fine.
That's the highest recommendation one can give.
I mean, not everything's gonna be like 10 out of 10 anime of the season.
Oh, I'm aware.
At least not this season.
Although we still haven't talked about the 10 out of 10 anime of the season, which was Himegoto.
Oh my god.
Hot garbage.
What?
Time to invite DL into the chat.
I'm surprised he didn't watch that one. It's right up his alley.
It wasn't even funny.
It was funny.
Yeah, that was the reason I stuck with it. It was actually funny. It was lewd, but funny.
If it was funny, I would have forgiven the lewdness.
Although it takes a really weird turn in the last couple episodes.
What happens?
It basically it gets a little dramatic where in the next to last episode, like, I mean, how many episodes did you watch, Funk?
I watched 2.
Okay,
no,
so
maybe 3.
Okay, so the main trap character gets very much sexually assaulted by 2 guys, and like the student council reps just sit there and watch, and they get called out on it. So it's kind of weird that like, and it was like very, very, very much sexual assault. And then like he like quits the student council, so it takes like a dramatic turn. Like, will he forgive them?
Steve,
Yes.
Stop triggering me.
It's a very If you were triggered easily,
Trigger warning.
all of the triggers.
Every single one. Trigger warning. Stay away if you don't like tired.
But in the end, he goes back to the student council and he continues with his cross-dressing ways.
Oh, wonderful. I was not going to be able to sleep tonight.
It was actually a series I thought that they probably could have done a full series. But
like not 5-minute episodes.
Yeah, they could have done like a whole season. But I imagine it's something that's not going to sell very well because it appeals to a very, very niche audience. So I can see why they wouldn't spring for a full show. But it was funny.
It was shit.
So that pretty much covers every show I have on the list here. Was there anyone that anything else you guys want to talk about?
Did either of you two watch Majimoji Rurumo?
I
did.
You did, Kenny?
I did.
I didn't know that. You watched the whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think?
It had its moments.
I thought it was pretty good. Like, more so when I first watched the first few episodes, I thought it was just going to be pretty terrible. Like, oh, it's just perverted main character, high school shenanigans, magic element, whatever. You know, same thing you've seen a million times before. But I don't know, it actually was pretty good. Like I don't know, just the way the characters were written and the way they were developed and the relationships between them was more than I expected I would get. And I really liked it.
All right. Happy for you then.
Did you not like it?
It was okay. I've watched so much of this shit. It's just like the generic, like,
kind of
pervert. Yeah, it's just...
I wonder if you're nearing the point...
Generic pervert and his friends, like, following around, like, just high school girls.
Yeah, but I think there was more to it. Like, there's definitely, you know, large sections of the show where that's the entirety of the humor, and, you know, it's pretty...
I guess it did have
pedestrian.
it did have some sort of a plot. Like, he had, like, tickets to, like, you know, make wishes, but in turn he would
die.
Lose part of his lifespan. But yeah, it was okay.
I really liked the interplay between her and the other witch. Because you remember that episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like that, all the character development in that episode was fucking heavy. I was like, this is great. I really liked it. I don't know. I felt that at that point it rose above just being all the generic shit that it had been before, including the terrible beach episode, which I just could not stand.
But I did think her familiar, her cat. I thought she was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, Kenny likes delicious brown cats.
I do.
He
She was
does.
awesome.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, there's a lot of good parts of that show.
Like I said, it had its moments, but it just wasn't one of my favorites. Again,
That's fair.
it was okay. I don't think. Well, there was another
What's that?
Hanayamata, which none of you watched.
I had a friend. Neither of you two. I have other friends. I swear.
We believe you.
No, it's constantly recommending me that. And saying I would like it based on my history of liking shows with cute girls and their propensity to do cute things. But I never actually got around to watching it, so I know very little of it. Why don't you tell me about it?
Telling you about it would just like kind of put you off. But it's like I said, like with those comedy shows that I recommended to you, you just have to watch it. There's
Is
no
it
way.
a comedy?
There's comedy in it, but I mean, there's also some, drama in it as well.
Would you call it a dramedy?
No,
Oh, probably because that's stupid.
it's more of a slice of life.
Well, that's music to my ears, kind of.
No, I really suggest it though.
I know. I will keep that in mind.
It's just like it's a group of girls that want to do a Yosekoi dance, and it's like a Japanese thing, but the way they go about it is just like cute, I guess.
I do love cute.
Words to
If that-
Fox ears.
Turns you on.
I mean, yeah. Like somebody says, "Look at that cute dog." I'm like, "Oh man, gotta go beat off."
Yeah, right.
And he's like, "Look at this cute statue on my desk." I'm like, "Man, my steaming."
Can't help yourself.
Can't help myself.
Okay, so before we wrap up, anything you guys have watched so far from this season, the new season, or anything you're looking forward to?
Well, I did watch this one show called Terraformers.
It all comes full circle.
No, I did watch this other show though. Let me find the name real quick, because I actually really enjoyed it. The one episode that I saw. Gugure Kokuri-san.
No idea what that is.
Pretty good. It's like, I don't even know this. There's like this demon who haunts this little girl, and this little girl is just terrible, and it's just really funny. That is possibly the worst description of anything.
Probably.
But I've only seen one episode, so I can't really give you a
I mean,
concise
it's about as
description.
helpful as a mal description, so.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just really funny. Coincidentally, the voice actor for the demon is the same voice actor as the main character in Barakamon, so he's just all over shows where he interacts with children.
Potentially creepy.
Potentially.
Have to keep a lookout.
Yeah. What about you, Kenny? I know you said you watched like Sixths.
I've watched a lot, and I really can't fucking give you an answer.
What?
God damn it.
I mean, Face Stay Night's gonna be pretty good.
I know it is. Well, I hope it is.
I mean, it's being done by a good studio now, so.
That doesn't mean anything.
I mean, as long as it's not Studio Dean.
Dean, the madman, actually did it.
Made a shitty anime.
King the man.
Kenny, I don't know when it starts, but I'm really fucking hyped for Psycho Pass 2.
So am I.
Are you sure it's not pronounced Psychopath?
No, I'm fairly certain it's Psycho Pass.
Okay.
Especially because there's a hyphen, so it's not one word.
It's not Psychopath? Psychopath?
It's not Psychopath.
Damn. Wow. I gotta watch Hell's Kitchen.
You got anything, Kenny?
Can you come back to me?
Well, I mean, we're gonna wrap up the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we are. What if you watch, Kenny?
Am I the last one?
Yeah.
There's only 3 of us.
God damn it. Hang on.
I mean, you don't really have to say anything.
No, you do.
Required by law.
Yeah. It's the Kenny Ordinance. Corollary
Why
to
has
the
it gotta
vote.
be an ordinance?
Why do you gotta
Why can't it be a bylaw?
get your nose out of my shit? Okay? Don't make these laws to amuse you.
I think you do.
I got.
Are you questioning the validity of my movements?
Go ahead, Kenny.
I have 3, actually.
Alright, lay it on me.
Potentials.
Mm-hmm.
In Search of the Lost Future.
I like the name of that show, but I haven't watched it yet. That's a
Lord
great fucking
Marksman.
title.
Lord Marksman Vandalist, which is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. And then, this anime has a fucking 6.77, but I think it has promise. Cross Ange Rondo of Angel and Dragon.
That sounds generic, but...
Can I just express how much I love when titles of anything have the word Rondo in them? Like, it always comes back to Castlevania Rondo of Blood or whatever, but it's fucking hilarious. This is the best
Sorry.
word. No. Please. I should be thanking you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Whatever.
But, Steve, you don't want to hype up your manga anime?
I mean,
Monster.
it was funny.
It was
Pedestrian.
pedestrian.
Yeah,
Very
that's your new way to describe anything.
Oh, really?
I think it was very vehicular fun.
Now you know you're not using that word correctly.
I am now. I changed it.
Oh yeah, we doing this?
It means the anime's really taking off.
Oh, like a vehicle.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're ending it.
Ended it.
Hope you
We
guys,
are?
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the summer season.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
Oh.
See ya.
Bye.